There's nothing quite like the pure, unadulterated joy and passion that comes from bouncing rev limiters, bustling tyre smoke, and burning rubber. Add music, dancing, stunts, and tricks to this, and you are left with one of the world's fastest growing motorsports. Spinning. If your feed is anything like mine, you would have already seen spinning plastered all over your recommended at one point or another, showing daredevils performing feats of extreme automotive expressionism and talent, whether they are narrowly missing barriers or putting their machinery into holding patterns to stunt in, on, or around the moving car, all for the love of the crowd and the sport. Born out of rebellion, protest, and the criminal underground, spinning has quickly morphed into one of motorsport's greatest forms of self-expression, entertainment, and community for all to witness and join in. But before we get to that, we need a bit of context surrounding spinning's birth. After the horrific events of World War II, the call for decolonization was building momentum around the globe, tearing down old colonies and instating self-determinating states. South Africa, however, would go a different path, and in 1948, the first laws of the oppressive apartheid regime were implemented by the South African National Party. Meaning apartness in Afrikaans, apartheid started to disenfranchise the black and Asian communities by forcefully separating people, suppressing freedoms across racial lines, creating racial registries, prohibiting interracial marriage, separating public spaces, and consolidated all the power to the white minority, creating an inherently unequal system by enshrining institutional and systematic discrimination, leading to a significant rise in poverty, inequality, resentment, violence, crime, and racial tensions. This in turn pushed more and more people into joining gangs and criminal organizations in search for safety in numbers, comradeship, and freedom from the unjust system they had been forced into. In 1959, the apartheid government would enact the Promotion of Bantu Self-Government Act. This act would forcibly segregate racial populations into distinct living areas based on race, away from the city centers into small and underdeveloped townships, dividing the country and cities alike across new racial lines that still scars the country today. It is in one of these townships that our story truly begins, the township of Soweto. Soweto would form one of the largest African urban centers in the country, and amidst the oppressive apartheid regime, became an epicenter for the fight for equality, most notably through the mass student protest, 1976's Soweto Uprising, protesting the mandatory enforcement of the Afrikaans language in schools, on top of the decades of building racial discrimination. It is out of this township that a new act of defiance started to gain some momentum. Believed to have originated in the 80s, within the streets of Soweto and the encompassing city of Johannesburg, African gang members, or Tsotsis, would celebrate the life of a fallen comrade by heading into white areas and stealing the white Afrikaans' most prized possession, their cars. Cars had over time gained greater status as symbols of the racial power imbalances and superiority, due to their inaccessible nature for non-white communities, making them a prime target to jack and vandalize, eventually leading to some of the world's highest carjacking rates. Tsotsis would start to steal these machines before racing them back to their neighborhoods and ripping them to shreds in the streets, attracting the attention of all around by blasting the rev limiter, tearing up rubber, and building massive plumes of smoke akin to that of a street takeover. With crowds quickly amassing, a party would build in the streets surrounding the hooning cars. The action in the streets were accompanied by Kwaito music, dancing, and booze in celebration, before setting the cars alight in a bright and fiery conclusion. Beginning as a celebratory funeral tradition for fallen gang members, to celebrate the legacy and lives of their fellow Tsotsis at a party of smoke, sound, and dance, it quickly expanded into a form of counterculture, defiance, entertainment, or simply done for the sake of street cred. Spinning events would occur in reaction to recent injustices or protests caused by the apartheid regime, or as a ritual in honor of those who lost their lives in activism under apartheid. As spinning spread across townships around South Africa, drivers and passengers would begin to test their limits by performing all sorts of stunts in and around the recently acquired cars. From hanging out of windows, running out of moving cars, hanging from the bonnet, dancing around or on top of the car, all while it continues to spin, narrowly missing drivers, passengers, and onlookers, creating new dance moves like suicide slides, Jordan salutes, the running man, and more, all for the awe and astonishment of the surrounding crowds. As more and more people started spinning, the preference quickly emerged in the spinner's ideal machinery. After trying out Chevys, Fords, Nissans, and Toyotas, a clear favourite emerged through the prized BMW E30 325i. With its rear-wheel drive, cheap price, lightweight balance, beautiful sounds, and stunning looks, it was lovingly dubbed the Gusheshe, or the panty dropper. Renowned for its racing and drifting pedigree overseas, the Gusheshe also made itself the ideal candidate for getaway drivers and spinners, and it quickly became the most sought-after car due to its performance and reliability when it came to spinning. Following the violently suppressed Soweto uprising and subsequent protests, internal pressures started to rise against the government, followed by a growing movement of international condemnation against the ruthless apartheid regime. Culminating in political, cultural, and economic sanctions from the international community, the ruling National Party government would be pressured into abolishing the apartheid laws. Starting with the release of political prisoners heading into the 90s, the National Party would enter into negotiations with the African National Congress in order to dismantle the apartheid laws, eventually culminating in the first free, fair, and popular elections in 1994, with Nelson Mandela elected president. But apartheid would leave deep scars throughout the country that would take decades to heal. This left spinning in an awkward situation for the ensuing transition period. In a nation looking to heal after decades of discrimination and injustice, spinning would be reinforced as an illicit act due to its criminal, gang, and carjacking roots. With automotive crime and carjacking rates at record highs across South Africa, spinning would be forced to become an underground taboo sport and hobby that would continue to grow in popularity outside of the side of the law. After years of evading the cops in order to freely spin, drivers started looking for legal and safe ways to participate in their favourite sport. Private tracks, skid pans, and spinning circuits started appearing around spinning hotspots in the late 2000s to early 2010s, building a space for spinning, drifting, burnouts, along with other motorsports to all be done in a safe and legal manner. Surrounded by barriers and stands with marshals on standby, these tracks allowed for drivers to show off their dangerous skills in a purpose-built environment with legally acquired machinery, while also providing a centralized and safe communal experience for all lovers of spin, building a mainstream audience from all walks of life. This move to tracks also allowed for the sport to evolve into its own distinct motorsport, through formalizing its characteristics and rules, as organisers and competitors started to add obstacles across the tarmac, providing a slew of distinct tests of car control for the spinners to tackle with style, with the winners of each event being decided by who tackled the circuit with the most precision and flair, according to the onlooking judges and the crowds. These new official spinning events also brought with it a rise in popularity, as it came out of the shadows and became a more organised sport, as spinning started to spread into neighbouring countries, and new local celebrities starting popping up all around the spinning scene, drawing in massive fan bases for their skills, style, banter, and personalities, with the likes of Jeff James, McRae Daba, King Katra, Sam, Stacey May, Eddie Rasta, and Vadshi, just to name a few, with many fans being drawn in to see these big personalities compete and clash with one another, driving the sport forward as a whole. While completely eliminating spinning and carjacking on the streets may not be possible, it is evident that while a spinning event is taking place, crime goes down in the surrounding areas. And with the rise of a legal alternative for spinning, more people got an opportunity to be a part of the spinning events, either as a driver, entertainer, organizer, or spectator, while also pushing the sport away from its criminal roots and opening a path for spinning to gain national and global legitimacy, destigmatizing spinning from its criminal roots and building upon its public perception. Following a push from spinning event organisers and the South African sports minister, a former Sotsi and spinner, Gayton McKenzie, spinning became a legalised and formally recognised sport by Motorsport South Africa and the FIA through association in 2014. Nowadays, spinning is South Africa's fastest growing motorsport, with larger events drawing in bigger crowds like Spin Wars, Battle of Nations, and Red Bull Shea Moto, providing yearly competitions for the world's best spinners to compete. On top of its awe-inspiring presence online, across global media, and through international showcases, spinning continues to draw in the ire of motorsport fans worldwide, acting as a stepping stone for spinning's sustained expansion and worldwide into the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more motorsport content. And don't forget to check out my other videos and my second channel while you're at it. Alright, till next time.